it be key appointment, project that are domiciled in the East that you can see, you know, and all that. 2 years down the line, what has happened in the Eastern region?
Okay, let me come to you, Philip. He raised the point of that no matter what he does, no matter what Asiwaju does or might do, that the Eastern might not support him. I was to ask, Easterners, I don't think their voting pattern has gone that way. For example, when Buhari ran against Obasanjo, he ran with an Easterner as a vice president. All the Easterners voted Obasanjo. They didn't vote Buhari because of even 2 times. Buhari ran twice, one with Umezuoke, one with Okadibo. Okadibo is an Easterner. Umezuoke is an Easterner. On those 2 occasions, the Easterner voted Obasanjo in one and voted Yar'Adua in the other. They didn't say, oh, let's vote because the VP is our own. Easterner voted Yoruba man Obasanjo and also voted Yar'Adua, a Fulani man, not minding their own personal ticket until it got to P2P before they voted. And during P2P's campaign, or rather, just immediately after election, they were saying that, I mean, this is politics. They were saying that if it is candidate like Ojus or Kalo, that Igbos will still not vote for him. So do you think Asiwaju's inability to make inroads, no matter what he's doing politically, into Southeast, is based on Igbo's perceived in his inability to perform, or simply because he's a Yoruba man?
I think both of them. One, his inability to perform is the major thing. If he performs, Nigeria generally will vote for him. As it is today, it is not only the Eastern that will not vote for Tinubu comes 2027 if he continues in this manner. Except, like you always said, a miracle happens.
No, miracle can happen.
That if he changes his way and he improves, his performance will knock at the doors of Nigeria, including the Easterners. Yes. And then when you come to the other leg of the question you ask, if it's because of the fact that he's a Yoruba man, not per se because of the Yoruba, because of his person as a Yoruba man, his attitude towards the Easterner right from onset is one of those people who projected the Easterner to be, to people not to be trusted. So if you don't trust me, we can't trust you.
But there's always a room for change.
Yes.
And now the 2 official visits he's doing.
Let me take your mind back to what has happened to the Easterner in Lagos, where Tinubu has held sway for over 26 years. Yeah. It is not a good taste in the mouth of the Easterner. That's why they do their business. You know what? If they tell you what the pains they go through.
But Tinubu, as a governor, appointed Igbo commissioner.
Yes, it's just a face-saving actions. Igbo, for instance, is one of his closest
lieutenant.
But what has he given to him other than special advisor or things like that? Is Igbo not qualified to be one of the ministers in the cabinet today? Has Igbo not been with him long enough to be trusted to be a minister? Is Gbajabiamila closer than to Tinubu than Igbo?
Igbo even defend him more.
So these are the issues before the Easterners to consider. That's why I said both facts.
Igbo has been persecuted even in his home.
Exactly.
Simply because of Asiwaju.
Both facts will work against him in the East. But the only way he can redeem himself in the eyes of the Easterner is for him to perform beyond the ordinary.
I think performance is a common currency in the 2027 election for Asiwaju. Like I've always said, election is different from re-election. Elections, people might skate through your promises and say, okay, maybe he's able to do it. But re-election, no same person will look at your promises.
Because
they are going to look at your records.
Sorry, I wanted to ask about Igbo. I think he was commissioner for finance.
Commissioner for special duty.
Just special duty.
Lagos. Yes, he had never been. Greg had given him commissioner for finance. that was harsh.
Go look at the record. No, I'm not saying you are wrong. Okay. I just wanted to clarify all that.
Okay, the timing of this visit to Anambra State, is it essentially to prepare for the election that is coming, or it was just an exercise on its own?
No. Of course, definitely preparing for the election that is coming is rub my back, I rub your back. So, time of voting, the way we are seeing it right now, I wish when he was going, he would hold some very good gifts in his hand to give to, well, you know what a gift can do.
I don't know. I know what gifts can do, but what kind of gifts?
They are different kind of gifts.
Okay.
Maybe special project, maybe special appointment.
Yeah.
For example, the Boko that we are talking about. They could have announced him as
But unfortunately, in Nigeria, it doesn't work that way. It will probably be the Soludo that handpicked the APC candidate that is going to contest against him, according to Valentine Ozigbo, might also be the person that will handpick the bearer of the gift.
Of the gift. Well, it could be by appointment. It could be anything. Any gift could be anything.
Even federal roles.
Okay, let's come to reality. The president had gone to Anambra State to commission project. Which project? Who executed the project?
It's absolutely.
So did you watch the live show? You see how the smiles in Soludo's face. It means this deal has been
successful.
So the show is Soludo's show. It's not the president's show.
Yeah.
The way I look.
Yeah, no, of course it's Soludo's show. Okay, let's move.
Sorry, on that Soludo, you know Soludo didn't support Tinubu during the election. He supported Atiku. During
but there's this exodus of all Atiku supporters now almost.
But
apart from people like Dele Momodu,
because the scepter is no longer with
all the city governors are moving.
All the city governors
are surprised if Soludo is one of them because you know for instance, as we all witness, we have a PDP minister in FCT, but it's a PDP member. Soludo is a governor of Abga, but in other words, it's APC. And
there was even a statement accredited to Arise that Okowa said that Atiku himself might even be moving to based on intelligence.
But Atiku came out and
debunked it, yes. So Atiku now came back and said nothing like that could happen, you know. But that's for that kind of news to come out from somebody that was your running mate, you understand that permutation must have been done at some point.
No, Atiku didn't deny it completely. What Atiku said that the kind of coalition he's looking at is the coalition that happened in the 70s between
MPN and NPP. Yes.
That it will be PDP will not lose their identity, which means it's not entirely a false statement made by Okowa. Exactly. It will be PDP something or something PDP. But whatever it is, he needs an assistant from other, area.
All right. There's this video that circulated since we were talking about Asiwaju. There is this video that circulated sometime last week or a few days back by Isah Abubakar and NANS, now factional president and whatever, that the son of the president, she was trying to forcefully make him to not be part of the election and things like that, rescind his interest to be NANS president and leave it to Oladoja and all that blah blah blah. It was on video. Also circulated some pictures where he was that he was beaten and all that. A lot of allegations and all that. It is very shocking now that there is a publication now in Vanguard. As a matter of fact, the guy has it on his Facebook where he has retracted those statements that those were based on what Ladoja told him. When things like this happen, there's something to call false alarm. Abroad, it's done. The 911 is very effective if you live abroad. If you call 911, the next 2 minutes, 5 minutes maximum, in most locations, in most municipalities, police or fire service or whatever emergency are going to come to your aid. And when they come to your aid, you say, oh, sorry, I was joking. I was just trying to press if it to work. You'll be arrested for false alarm. Immediately. You'll be arrested for false alarm immediately, and you have to pay. If it is it's within criminal, you have to be jailed, even tried and jailed. And if it's something civil, and you will just have to pay some charges and fine. What do you think should be the next move on this case?
The police should arrest him immediately.
The boy, right?
The police.
Isah Abubakar, who has retracted.
The police should arrest him immediately
now
for creating false alarm and misinforming the public and everything, because they were grave allegations against Seyi.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Damage of character.
Exactly.
And I think Seyi should take a step forward to sue him.
Exactly. In fact, the police, this one is more than even libel. The police should go after him immediately.
No, for false alarm, he should be arrested.
Because what he did could have caused an unrest.
It could have caused
even a civil war. That's the truth, what he did. I mean, these are allegations that are very grave. Now, you have students that he said he controlled over 40 million Alota forces. That they know that he doesn't want to. So, from what he said, if it was in the days of when Alota was Alota, the whole university's campus would have closed down. Because of those allegations.
All right, Philip, what do you think should be a step forward? So, in order to forestall this kind of false allegations or certain things that will have to clearly damage another person's character, you will not vet it, you will not look at it, you will not go out to sponge it out under emotions. And because Seyi is all over the places. I mean, it's not like when we have Yusuf, the son of Buhari. That one is always driving his power bike, and he was never in the corridor of power at all.
Until he had accident.
Very good young guy that everybody loved, So, because Tinubu's son has been in the corridor of power in some form, there is this animosity that some people might have against him. How could you have thrown out such level of allegation without verification?
It's interesting that we are discussing this topic because I am one of few persons that hardly jump into conclusion. Yeah. Why do I say so? It is in this country that a boat driver was beaten up by a member of House of Reps, and all social activities and all of everything were done, and with the gift of 5 million naira, the man he not only retracts his statement, even the fat and everything, and said he apologized to the honorable member of the House of Representatives. This gentleman, the fashionable NANS president, when he came out with that video, there were videos of him being beaten up and naked and all of that. So I don't know whether those things were make beliefs on the hearsay he got. Because this country is a funny country. We don't know what led to the retraction of this statement and all of that. So for me, I would join the conclusion that, the man has sounded a false alarm. We need to do more investigation.
No, but eventually...
No. I know where you're going. Yeah. Yes, it sounds false alarm.
Yes.
I agree with you. But I give you an understanding. This is a country of zoo.
Yeah.
People conscience could be bought doing this way, and they don't care what they have thrown out in the public.
We are not ignorant of that. So, now, in order to also forestall, to prevent people from also doing that, you have to pay as if you have raised false alarm. We are not ignorant of what might have transpired, or what could transpire rather. We are not ignorant of what could transpire. But if you do such, then the people will now know that when you say something, let's assume it was true, and you now go back and retract it, believing it was true initially, and you now go back and retract because of certain unholy or unhealthy negotiation, you are going to pay for it.
That's where I'm coming to. You see, I agree with you. I agree with you in total. If you sound false alarm, if you commit a crime, you pay the price. But knowing this country, who are the people to effect the arrest if it was false alarm? I'm putting a
you quote settle,
if it is false alarm. If it is the other way around, that it was a settled deal, who are those people that are going to effect this same arrest and do this investigation? If it is the people that struck the deal and said, look, let bygone be bygone, but this is what you need to do, and that's what he did. So how do you get to the bottom of the matter?
Okay.
So can
I comment?
Yeah, sure.
I really understand what you are trying to say on both sides, and you are perfectly correct. Do you understand? You are perfectly correct. If everything was proper, prime, do you understand?
Yeah.
If the boy sounded a false alarm, he should be arrested. If the boy also has been coerced,
he should be. He didn't reduce the damage he has caused.
He should also be arrested.
Exactly.
I don't know if
exactly.
But on the other one, you are now saying, that who are the people that were arresting? They have also been controlled by the power that be, that controls the boy as well. Do you understand? Yeah. So we Nigerians may not get justice.
Driver.
Yes.
That everybody saw.
The video.
The video and everything.
Yeah.
And they spend all his time and energy to rescue.
I've always told us one thing, that which all of us know. A leader is a representation of the people, both in character Yes, and in performance and in everything. You see, when we say our leaders are corrupt, they were picked from the populace. You know, I have never been so worried for Nigeria because of the corrupt leaders, but I've been worried for Nigeria because of those that will replace the corrupt leaders. They are even more corrupt. And it's very terrible. But let's move forward. Let's douse this tension slightly bit by going to Rivers State. Rivers communities who, a lot of them are saying, no, we didn't want a bus and all that. They are running to a bus now to help them. That some herdsmen are invading their farms and all that. I mean, if you rejected somebody, so how are you now looking up to him?
There are no other authorities for them to run to.
Okay.
The only authority that be in Rivers right now is Ibas, that's the sole administrator.
Yeah.
So they don't have any other person to run to.
Okay.
So at least they said he should keep peace in Rivers. And intruders are coming. So they run to the authority they can see. But that doesn't mean legitimately they agree that Ibas should be their leader or their governor. Do you understand? It's just like during military era. When they come, they come.
Yeah.
And we were subjected to their whims and caprices, whichever way. Do you understand? So I don't think it doesn't mean that they agree.
Philip, I don't know if you are conversant with that Rivers communities, you know, running to a bus for help.
Interesting. You see, I have said it before that in this country, anything goes. You know, I'm very skeptical of this country. You know, the Rivers populace has said that, look, there was an election and we elected our leaders. We want our leaders back. But the federal government are saying that you have crisis. I'm imposing unelected person on you. And the Rivers State people have been resisting. So this is Nigeria. Now herdsmen is now invading their community. So like he said, the only authority they need to run to is the IBAS authority. So in other words, they are being coerced to accept the kind of government or leadership they have at the moment. So yes, I'm aware that community in Rivers State has run to IBAS to protect them because herdsmen has invaded their community. And if they do anything like what happened in Edo State, they saw people with guns and all of that. And the people tried to resist them when they accosted them. And fracas happened and all of that. They said they took into their hand and the security agent invaded the entire room and people were being arrested. So the Rivers community are trying to avoid that. Herdsmen are authority, come and keep peace here because we are here to keep peace. So I'm agreeing with him. So that is the only authority left for them to run to.
Okay. We talked about in our News Insight section in the morning. We talked about LP crisis where Abure expelled Otti, the Senator Kingibe, and Kwacha, a few of them, and before then, Nenadi had, given Abure mandate, a kind of timeline to do certain things, or face disciplinary action. Abure, in addition to expelling Otti, Kingibe, Kwacha, and a few others, he has clearly said that there is no point expelling Nenadi Usman because she was never a Labour Party member. I remember sometime last year there were issues in the states. I think that was Kaduna State LP issues of the old executive being replaced with a caretaker committee, and there was these issues that time where the old executive said that they do not have that and Usman in their register, but the new caretaker committee people that were appointed eventually said they have them. But until today, I am yet to see the card, Nenadi's card, or Nenadi's or any register containing Nenadi's name, that belongs to the Labour Party. I have not seen it. They said it was released to the public then, but I'm worried if Abure has seen it. Why are they still saying that Nenadi is not a party member? And what is his name again? Ogah came up to say that they reject such suspension because it's actually really a little bit funny for Labour Party to suspend the only governor they have.
An elected official.
Elected official. So, Kingsley, what do you make of this Labour crisis?
My personal stuff, both of the two blocks are not sincere to Nigerians. And they are not also loyal to their party. If they are loyal to their party, they want their party to move forward. It's a meeting ground.
Certainly.
They meet. If they also now want to win more elections, all the people that have won election under your platform, you are suspending all of them. Which one are you going to win next? Do you understand? And I think they should show maturity if they are interested in the party, except the wind of change that is coming from, what's it called, APC, is sweeping them aside. You know, and all that. But I don't think we should take them seriously.
All right, Peter, Philip, everybody is saying, oh, why don't they call a broader stakeholders meeting? Let's take note. When Abure called a meeting, he called a broad stakeholders meeting, but the people at Nenadi's side did not attend. When Nenadi also called their meeting, that was the one held in Transcorp, where Obi and the likes and Otti attended before they now moved to INEC to submit. They called a general meeting. People from Abure's side did not attend. If these two factions, as it were, let's leave our papa's faction out first. If these two factions are serious and they really, really want Labour Party to come up again, you can't stand where you are and claim to be negotiating, even though you are the one that is right. You know, even warring nations like Hamas and Israel, they still negotiate. It can be, they can choose Qatar, a neutral ground or things like that. To go on. So issue of Abure is tired. Go. Don't bring him into it. We are the one. And Abure will not say, oh, Nenadi, you are appointed based on nothing. You were not appointed based on constitution. Even though any of these two parties think they are the one that is 100% right, for as much as there is disagreement, don't you think they should sheath their sword, come to common ground, negotiate first? That doesn't mean you have accepted that the other person is right if they really love the party, because he said none of the parties is sincere to Nigerians.
I agree with him too. You know, I said it in the morning that look, when you ask what is the way forward, I said the only way forward is for them to come to a round table and sit down and talk to themselves sincerely. You know, the truth is that both parties have their game plans.
Yeah.
Because, like you rightly said, if is it that Labour Party will produce candidate to win election and give to other party? Is that what they are meant for? Or is it that Labour Party doesn't want to exist anymore? I think the parties that are involved in this matter of Labour Party, they really need to take a deep breath and ask themselves, you know, sincere question, if they are on the right path.
Sincere question.
Sincere question, because the truth remains that they cannot move ahead with the way they are going. Like I said before, I see them heading back to the courts. Even if the court said they don't have jurisdiction, because there's no way they can resolve.
What's the disagreement? You have to go to
court.
court.
I see them going to the court, but as it is today, you know, there are so many questions, unanswered questions. Yeah. Whether Nenadi Usman is a member of Labour Party or is not. Whether,
which I think she can. Though they said she has brought a card.
Whether Abure has tenure has expired or not. They said yes. I saw in a comment was saying she has should.
I heard about that last year.
The question that we ask that person is, who signed that card? Because
I've not even seen it
because
myself.
No, we've not seen it because party cards are signed by the national chairman
yes,
and the secretary. So if that card is signed by
Abure, he would have known.
So you don't need to know. The point I'm making is that so it shows that if he holds that card, he's also admitted that Abure is the national chairman of the party and he had not been removed in any way other than to say that his tenure has expired, that he should go. And that is not the laid down rule of the party's constitution. So if you want to remove Abure, you have to go by the constitution. So that will not take us anywhere and will not take the parties anywhere. Like I said, let the parties involved, both parties, you know, swallow their pride and find a common ground so that they can, for the interest of the party and Nigeria, because Nigeria love Labour Party, so that the party can move forward.
All right. You were talking about sincerity, and Dele Momodu has been all over canvassing for a northern candidate. As a matter of fact, Lere Olayinka, that's Wike's essay, took a swipe on him the other day, calling Dele Momodu to be somebody who is feeding off from Atiku, that Atiku is just his victim at the moment, that if he's done with Atiku, he moves to the next victim. You know, Dele Momodu has been everywhere saying it's only a northern candidate that can defeat Asiwaju come 2027. You know, which could be a forerunner statements for Atiku. You know, a lot of people are also saying, because you talked about sincerity, are also saying that Dele Momodu is a very close friend of Asiwaju himself. They were on SI together during the military and all that. That it could be that Dele Momodu know very well that Atiku is a weak candidate. That Atiku, you know, is not even attractive in elections anymore, you know, like before. One, age is not on his side, and one, even this unwritten zoning they are talking about, it is not also working for him. If you really want to remove a certain president, you should match the person with a south, so it's easier to measure. Do you think Dele Momodu is in a way working for Asiwaju in an attempt to present a weak candidate so that Asiwaju can easily defeat the person?
It's very clear that's what he's doing, and to be honest with you, Dele Momodu is not sincere to himself. It's clear that Dele Momodu is working for his friend, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to do his 8 years. You know, there are so many ways, you know, government can patronize his friends and followers.
Yes.
It might not be through appointment, it might not be through contract, but a lot could happen.
Yeah.
So Dele Momodu could fall into those categories of Tinubu, you know, follower that is being taken care of, and they are doing their job quietly. What if from Dele Momodu that's only a northerner,
there's no basis
that can defeat, you know,
Northerner was on ballot in 2023, and he didn't defeat Asiwaju.
And which northerner does he have in
two
mind?
Northerners were two prominent Northerners.
So it's short for you to say that it's only Atiku that will defeat Tinubu in 2027 election.
And Atiku will not.
And Atiku will all know that in fact he does not even have the money to bankroll such election.
And I want to ask you, I think I asked this question one other time. There are candidates that are really, really hard to contest against. No, whether they are good or not, you think they are good with policies or not, but they have what we call organic followers. We have at least nothing less than 2 of them in Nigeria in our record so far. One of them was Buhari. Buhari have what we call organic followers. Even though Buhari brings dagger somebody, people that vote for him will still vote for him.
That has withered down now.
Yes. So yeah, but I mean, he's not contesting anymore. Yeah. So what you're doing
it for? Tell me, it was contested. It was there.
It was organic. It was there. So it was very, very organic.
Say Buhari.
Say Buhari. Say Baba. So another person that has that organic followers is P2B.
Hey.
Who are organic followers? Where is Atiku's base of voters?
Dele Momodu.
Hold on. The women that are BOT members, some of his stooges that maybe they've been benefiting from him one way or the other. You see, he doesn't have that kind of charismatic leadership or followership where people go bananas when they hear about Atiku Abubakar. Yeah. He doesn't have that. And also, from the discrediting that has come from his former boss, Obasanjo, that may never easily go away. Yeah. And knowing that he sold so many, because you know the office of the vice president was the one controlling Bureau of Public, no, not Bureau of Public, BPP. No, BPE, Public Enterprise. Okay, that was selling our Nigerian assets. Yeah, exactly. His lot of assets were sold, and people have not forgiven for that. And beyond that, age has also come his way. Do you understand? And this entitlement spirit must leave him until then, which I think, come on, Nigeria has moved past him. He should just let it go. Do you understand? And maybe one day, along the line, one of his sons may become president. He's still an article. But you should let it go. That's the truth.
Okay, we've been talking about coalition, taking our time. And also, you notice that there is an unwritten coalition happening in APC. Though all of them APCs are absorbing them, but a lot of them have their identities. Like, in Delta, where it was reported that the PDP people that defected into APC were really not registering, okay, because they are not seeing themselves as APC, okay. But we have this chunk of a block of APC that came from CPC. It was reported one time that when they went to see Buhari said anybody could go where they wanted to go. But they are beginning to come into block now. People like Masari, people like Arewa, people like the person that won the governorship of Amakura of Nasarawa State, a lot of them, they are pitching their tent permanently with APC and endorsing Asiwaju. That endorsement is moving. Do you think the other factions that want to, not people like in the likes of maybe Malami, he has not spoken and decided yet, but people are looking at him that they are tilted towards the coalition that's going to come under SDP. Do you think these people going into coalition with SDP is going to affect APC base?
Oh, definitely. You see, let me first of all talk about...
Because in the last election, they were with APC.
Yes, the support that Tinubu is getting as a result of other CPC members that are in the government. Most of these people are in the government. People like Marwa is the head of NDLA. Masari is in I think National University Commission or something. Then Amakura, they are all benefiting from the party. So, come on, in Nigeria, let me tell you what a lot of people don't know. The arrangement of Nigeria is no longer by either religion or ethnicity. It's by where profits you at this particular moment. This place profits them. The only person that we saw that couldn't play his politics very well, that went with his whole heart of sincerity, was Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan benefited not a lot. That's why Ajuji, the chairman of NNPP, came here.
Dr. Ajuji
Ahmed. He said, if Jonathan contests election with anybody
today,
he
will defeat them mercilessly.
He said north, south, east, and west, because he was misunderstood. He created Almajiri schools, brought a lot of projects to the north, and even the party chairman during the time of Jonathan, during that election time, betrayed him. And all that.
Yeah.
Muazu. Do you understand? And even so if we go into all that, all of them right now, what they are supporting is what benefits them. That's all. The other one on the other camp that are not benefiting from it are the one that want to align. People like Malami, he's ousted from this government. He doesn't, though he's not prosecuted from so many things that have been done. Do you understand? So the other one on the other side of the CPC that I told you, Babache, and all of them. So it depends on where you are benefiting from. If you are not benefiting from there, you speak against it. If you are benefiting from it, you speak for it.
Okay, this endorsement of Asiwaju, as much as we feel that it's just too early for politicking to start, we are too early in the campaign mood. Just about 2 years from inauguration, everywhere is already sounding like election is by November. There's another endorsement coming again in Delta State. Arewa community in Delta State, they are endorsing Asiwaju, that they are for Asiwaju, that they are going to vote for Asiwaju come 2027. This endorsement, how strong are they?
Good question. You just you spoke my mind. When he was talking, I was listening. Why the endorsement? That's the question. For me, I think it's all about fear. If the government is not afraid of the masses because of their inactivity and activity towards the masses, I don't think they should be going for this endorsement. Now, coming to the CPC block, I don't see any sincerity in those endorsements, because it's what do you call it? there's a word for it. They are trying to save saving. They're just trying,
face saving.
Yeah, no, it's not face saving. They are trying to just, show to the man that, oh, we are with you.
Yeah. Kind of psychophancy.
It's psychophancy, that's the word for it. It's psychophancy. Why would you say you endorse it? What prompted? What is happening? Why did you have to call
But mind you, Masiwaju the other time said, and that the policies they put out,
Yes.
that they are beginning to see the fruit.
No, you have said it here, and we have reencouraged it, that their services, their policy, their performances will knock
on the doors
door
of Nigerians.
You understand?
Yes.
So, if the policies are producing, does it amount to those in government, like you said, the block that the government is supposed to call a meeting to say that we're endorsing, Asiwaju? In fact, they don't need to call the meeting. Their endorsement should be seen in their own states and their own world. So it's not, if Asiwaju is a man, of course, which I know, this endorsement on in Abuja is sacrificing. Let's see it in your Nasarawa state, in your Katsina state, in all the other states.
Your stronghold.
It's simple.
And most of those Arewa communities, during voting, they go back to the north.
Do they vote in Asaba?
They don't. Most of them.
So what
Just a very few of them do.
Are they the real Arewa proper? So
just some of them were even born in Asaba.
So for me,
they are now Asabarians.
They speak Asaba more than you.
The truth remains that there's no need for this endorsement. And if Tinubu think because he's having an endorsement, like somebody said, and governors are crossing into APC, that give him guarantee and assurance that will be, he will retain his seat in 2027. I think he had to think again. Because somebody has said that Obi do not have governor, but he won all through the federation. So it is not the governor that will give you the vote. It is your performance that will give you the vote. Like you said, re-election is different from election.
Yes.
So this is re-election. Re-election, the only thing you need for re-election is performance. In election, you can make promises.
You can make promises.
People will have to, audit you when you are in office. So your re-election will be audited and see that whether your performance are okay. And that's why the Arewa said they are setting up a committee. I think they are meeting sometime this month to evaluate what the
May 20th and the 21st in Kaduna.
So, and that is it.
It's not everybody that's Baba made.
So it's the right step in the right direction. Like I said before, that every other block in this country should also set up such committee to evaluate the
so they can have objective
results.
So okay, I believe in Nigeria working. When maybe something we'll discuss sometime, maybe tomorrow or any other time. Patutomi was setting up. He has already set up a shadow government. And I think most people are already getting appointed into it. And there was a narrative that was being pushed out that they shouldn't be worried that their policies might be stolen by the current government, and they use it. You say if they use it and it work, we are still beneficiaries of it because we are all Nigerians. Okay, that is why I'm always positive that a miracle can happen between now and 2027, and Asiwaju government might be able to have that result that will help him to knock on the doors of every Nigerian and campaign for him, rather than billboards or using your media to force it into people that have performed. No, or using data from Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. We will see it that you have performed. And when it happens, Asiwaju might be able to just win his re-election. That's number one miracle.
This
number two.
Wait, this government does not believe in data, because when Obi was reading out his data, they kept criticizing. Then their own brother, Kwemi Adesina, also read out data. They said, "Oh, you speak like Obi." Because we don't work with data here.
They have what
I wonder why you're talking about data.
they have the problem with people that are very educated.
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't work with data. So don't mention data when this government. Because before they will still categorize you. You are speaking like Obi. You are speaking out data. What do they do data?
It's an agbado.
Actually, people say I'm an agbado. They don't get it. Okay. Because if Nigeria works, it works for us.
Yes.
That it doesn't matter whether Nigeria started working during EP2B or during Asiwaju.
No, we agree with you, but
if it is good, it's good for all of us.
This Agbado government doesn't work with data. They don't like data.
Okay, let's put it this way. That's the first miracle that maybe something drastic happens between now and 2027. Another second miracle might be, which I want us to talk about. We talked about it here before. Dr. Baba Ahmed said, we have paid our price, we have contributed our quota. All of us that are above 70 has been there. We've been there. Like I mentioned, the issue of hospital that Tinubu should have been able to maybe try to equip hospitals around.
The one we talked about
yesterday. You know, the idea was that he was also a state governor for 8 years. He could have built a very beautiful hospital in Lagos that even as a president, he didn't need to travel abroad.
And he has also been in charge of bringing governors into Lagos.
Yeah, so this idea from Dr. Baba Ahmed that all of us who are already old should step aside, inclusive of Atiku, inclusive of Asiwaju, and what a miracle happens. Asiwaju says, I'm not coming in for re-election. I am endorsing a very young personality to continue from here. One of my dreams was to be a president, and I am a president already, and I've contributed my quota. And maybe if I was younger, I would have done my best, because Buhari said it, that if he was younger, he would have done better. You remember he said that in his first tenure. So it could be applying to our president. If that second miracle happens, and he says, I'm not running for election, I'm endorsing somebody, what do you think will happen to all this coalition and all this? And how can that revitalize the internal strength of APC?
Okay, so number one, I think he first write his name in the annals of history of Nigeria. Because instead of us to be happy that he's living, you know, I don't know how to put it now.
Yeah.
We will be happy that, oh, this man is conscious and have a good heart towards Nigeria, knowing that he has not performed well. And truly, he hasn't performed well. That's the truth. It's not about sentiment. He hasn't. If you perform well, we will see it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's just like God told Abel, you know, when Cain,
so your sacrifice is not.
He said, if you have performed well,
I would have accepted you.
I would have accepted you. But he said to me, he said, the sin offering is lying at the door. In other words, you have a second opportunity. For us now, the second opportunity for Tinubu is the 2 years that is remaining. He has that opportunity. And things can turn around with that 2 years. But if today, our Mr. President say, I'm not coming for a second term or tenure, look, the jubilation that will go on and everybody will praise him. Listen, if you are not doing well, anybody can step there if you are not doing well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you must have 8 years.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's the truth. And he now will, because that's what Baba Ahmed said. Baba Ahmed said he will now bring someone that he knows will do well and use all the powers that he has to support that person. Of course, you know, there are some members of the APC that will still say, we don't want this person. But as
you're always going to be that.
It's just like what Obasanjo.
You're always going to have that.
When Obasanjo brought
Obasanjo attempted third term, clearly. Immediately he failed, he went for Yaradua.
In fact, you know, it was Odili.
Odili was thinking
that was ready financially and otherwise.
Everywhere.
But when Obasanjo told him, he said, go and sit down now. He went,
I need a performer.
From what we heard that he also wanted the vice presidential slot. But he was much a stronger force
than even Yaradua.
Yes. So that's why
Obasanjo didn't want what happened between him and Atiku to happen continue. To Yaradua.
You know, so he picked a weaker link. Who was Jonathan? I mean, there was an analysis the other day that said the reason why Jonathan was picked, you know, and all that, and it now became like a joker of sorts. You know.
All right, Philip. If that's a miracle of, because we are going to wrap up on that note. If that's a miracle of Asiwaju saying, I'm not contesting, age is no longer on my side, though he's 73 years old, but by 2027 he will be about 75 or so, which is not too young. Dr. Baba Ahmed, even though a lot of people say, oh, that might not be his real age, but that is what he told us. Dr. Baba Ahmed say, all of us are above 70, let's give Nigeria a chance. I mean, a lot of us started when we were less than 30, you know, and we are still there. Let's give Nigeria a chance. If that second miracle happens, what do you think will happen to APC and also our nation, Nigeria?
Two things. It will be a good omen for our nation, but I don't see how it's going to help APC. Don't forget, Nigerians are tired of APC, 10 years going. Because Nigerians sees APC as a cost to them. Because for the past 10 years of APC, Nigeria has gone through hell. insecurity has gone haywire. You know, inflation has taken a new dimension. Hunger has taken over the land. A lot. The Naira has taken a flight. You know, we don't want to use the word of General Diami Baba. He said that you call my money toilet paper. You know. So, it's a terrible.
I hope you don't call. Don't abuse Naira. Don't abuse Naira.
I'm warning you.
Who will stand you abuse Naira?
I will take a flight. so yes.
Your freedom of speech cannot be guaranteed after your pregnancy. Freedom after speech is important.
I didn't know that this guy could be afraid of me.
So what is there for Nigeria is that, yes, it will be that. Although the man will use all his force to support the person he's supporting, Nigeria will have, you know, they will decide properly. Yeah. That's one. Yeah. Two, the Nigerian people will see that it's the same APC, because if Tinubu took over from
Buhari and continue from where he stopped,
and even worse, Nigeria don't know what the younger person
so
will
they
do.
Might just be scared that this younger person might do it.
Solomon and his son.
Yes.
They said, if my father used, what do you call it? Whips on you, I will use something that is stronger than whip. Yeah. So if Tinubu and Buhari had done so much havoc to the economy, the younger person will do worse because we have more energy to do it. So I don't think Nigeria will subscribe to it.
All right, the time is against us, and we'll be wrapping up on that note. Let's hope our president's visit to Anambra will galvanize the Southeast in terms of unity. You know, we will have to be alive as humans before politics. You know, in terms of even bridging this gap between all the parties, no matter the parties you belong to, we are first Nigerians before you become a PC, PDP, and all that. I know. So we just hope we wish the president well on his visit in Anambra State. We also wish the governor well, and hopefully the next election coming in for Soludo to contest with the APC man, they said he handpicked by himself, that is free and fair, and Anambra people have peace and their development. And I thank you guys for being around.
It's a pleasure.
It's not easy. Philip, thank you guys. Thank you so much for being around.
It's my pleasure all the time.
Understand our Naira. You know, there was
nobody mentioned Naira.
The president that
Baba India me said, don't call my country money toilet paper.
Let me tell you, he was quoted one time. I won't mention the president. They ran to him and told him that Naira is losing value so much. He said, my friend, keep quiet. It's only when you don't have plenty of it. So make sure
that's a joke, right?
Make sure you have plenty of it.
Joke, right?
If you have plenty of it, it still has value.
What money cannot solve,
more money will solve it. All right, viewers, thank you so much for hanging around. We appreciate you, and this is Matters Arising. Until next time, thank you so much.